What are some defenses to a defamation action? Well, the first defense goes to a key element of a defamation action. If a statement about someone is true, that the injurious statement that you're making about someone, the statement that causes them harm, if it's actually true, then it is completely protected. An individual can say anything that's true about another person, even if it's harmful. So that's outside of a confidential relationship, such as disclosing confidential information. Well, that's still protected. But in the defamation context, truth is an absolute defense. Another situation of a defense would be if it were a privileged communication. So, for example, a legislature speaking before the legislature, they could say anything they want because it's a privileged forum. Attorneys arguing a case in a courtroom or a judge making a statement about a case in the courtroom, that is a privileged forum again. So under those circumstances, that communication is protected. It is privileged, and an action for defamation won't lie in that situation. Another situation might be where the press reports on something, and this is a really common example. Well, the First Amendment, freedom of press, protects the ability of the press to put out news and information. Now, in certain situations, the news or information that they put out may not be true. It might not, or generally it's not their intent to harm someone. It is simply to put out current or relevant information to the public. So there's a higher degree or standard of protection there offered to the news media for when they put out information about an individual. And basically the standard is not only does it have to be information have to be not true to be actionable, you have to demonstrate that the media outlet showed actual malice in making misstatements about someone. Say, for example, news media is reporting on a terror incident and they identify the individual as a terror suspect. Well, that is likely going to harm that individual's reputation, right? But if the news media did not exercise malice, they were simply careless in identifying this person. They didn't intentionally harm their reputation. They simply wanted to get the information out. That higher degree of protection is afforded to the media. Well, where if an individual made that same statement that this individual is responsible for this terrorist activity, well, in that situation, it would be defamation just if it's not true. So anyway, that higher standard applies to media, and it allows for the freer flow of information in society.